I'd like to share a song that I wrote, but before I do share this song, I want to give just a brief story of how this song came about. I'll try to make this as short as possible. Back in 2010, I was hurt pretty bad at work. We were working on a bulldozer and we were driving a pin into the tracks on a dozer, and a piece of that pin chipped off as we were hitting it with a sledgehammer, and it hit me in the neck. And when it did, it went through the carotid artery and was found in the jugular vein. I have a scar from about the bottom of my ear down to my collarbone as a result of the surgery that I had. But anyway, to make a long story short, God saw fit to let me live and to raise my children, who are now much older, and they were just small at the time when this happened. But it's just a great blessing to be able to still be here and to still be able to serve God in whatever capacity He gives me to serve Him. And also, I just wanted to point out how that the first night that I was home from the hospital, I remember these words just kind of popped into my mind. And I remember thinking I need to write these words down. And these words became the title of this song. And those words were "A God of Miracles." I don't know why, but it just stuck out in my mind. And so the next morning, I began to write the words to this song. And so I hope that it's a blessing to someone out there. There was a man who laid at the gate, who could not walk. For all his life he'd been that way. Silver or gold could not meet his need. In the name of Christ, he rose upon his feet. And I'm so glad that I serve a God of miracles. Even in the midst of an unbelieving world, I'm so glad that in the name of Christ, nothing is impossible for this God of miracles. Though I found myself standing face to face with death, Jesus was there, and he was closer than a friend. Even when it seemed like all hope was gone, he stood by my side, and I was not alone. I'm so glad that I serve a God of miracles. Even in the midst of an unbelieving world, and I'm so glad that in the name of Christ, nothing is impossible for this God of miracles. For I know someday that my journey here shall end, but I know that my Lord will come again. And when he comes, the dead in Christ shall rise, and forever we in his presence will abide. And I'm so glad that I serve a God of miracles. Even in the midst of an unbelieving world, I'm so glad that in the name of Christ, nothing is impossible for this God of